Hey, welcome to another live stream with the Mohawk Forex team. We're about 9 minutes away from the New York Open. We're doing our small account challenge starting with about $50. We're going to be trading for about an hour, see what we can win. We've got the NY Open, like I said, in about 8-9 minutes time, and then looking at our economic calendar, we have got the US manufacturing PMI news coming up in about 23 minutes time. And then we've got the ISM manufacturing news and the JOLTS job openings, which obviously is a prelude to Friday's live stream where we're going to be doing the NFP as usual. And then later tonight we're going to be trading oil with the API stock change news as well. A few nice events. We've had some good trades this morning already. We've done about 25-30 trades trading some of these news events. We got a win overnight on the Aussie 200 with the Aussie news. We had a win on the retail sales news for the DAX as well. We didn't do the UK FTSE, and then we did the inflation rate on the French and the unemployment on the DAX again. That was a win. And we didn't trade the market manufacturing PMI for the euro. We left that alone. Consumer credit we left alone as well. And like I say, now we're focusing on the US. And we're looking at gold on a 3-minute time frame on our AX trading system. Information on to join our group, go to www.mohawkforex.com, and all the information there, how to get access to our VIP Discord, set up and join our team is all on there, and the description on the YouTube channel below as well. If you like what we do, give us a like, share and subscribe. So we're just checking out Bloomberg as well, catch up on the news. There's been some news a few minutes ago about America meeting with Russia to discuss the situation in Ukraine, which obviously will affect oil prices and affect gold as well, and stocks, no doubt. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen.
Just about positive on the S&P. Coming up the morning calls and later, the attention turning towards Alphabet. That conversation just around the corner with Alphabet up by 1.2% in early trading from New York City.
All shares, earnings as well. So our main focus is going to be gold. Trading on our small account after taking all the wins last week. So you can see there it is. There's our live account on IC Markets with a leverage of 1 to 500, and we're starting at $42.86 as I withdrew some for a nice bottle of wine. But we're at $50. We had some nice wins last week, and obviously we've not traded yet, so this is our first trades of the week. So I don't use this 50-minute time frame to do any analysis at all. All our analysis is done on TradingView on our 3-minute AX trading system here. As you can see, gold has been in a range for the last hour or so, as you'd expect before the open and before any kind of major news, and it's trapped between our favourite support zone of about 1800. We're 18.4 at the moment, and we've got a high of 1805. Gold again retested that 1800, 1797 it dropped before pulling back up, went into a range again, and again pushed back up again during early London session, London Open, the end of Asian session. Here's the London Open here. Nice little manipulative drawdown before pushing on up, hitting our resistance area of 1809, retesting. And now we're just going to see where the open goes. Now, as there's no market driver before the open, usually we like to see a kind of a news event. All we've got really is the euro unemployment rate to say the news is good. There is mortgage approvals for the GBP, but nothing related to the gold or the dollar. So what we might do on this one is enter exactly as we get the open rather than before, and see which way this is going to go. Expect if the news has overall been fairly bullish that this could be a sell on the open. We'll wait and see. Got like 3-4 minutes to go. Here's our news events coming up. PMI and the JOLTS and the ISM, which are joined together, which are cool. We just want the news results to be the same way. The manufacturing PMI is going to be 55, the same, down from 57.7 last month, so it's already priced in to be a sell. And the ISM variant of it is also down from last month. So, and job openings also are down from last month, so overall it's all looking to the downside. And obviously if we're trading gold, we're going to go for the buy, we're going to go the opposite way. That's the plan anyway on these 3 news events. Let's have a look what the picks are on Bloomberg.
Coming up, the FANG stocks back in the spotlight with Alphabet earnings after the close.
3 minutes to go before the open. We're just going to trade the smallest lot size, so we're 0.01, which is 1 cent pip. We're just looking to win a few cents, nothing outrageous. We're just trying to increase our account by 5 to 10% every time we trade. That's what you got to do, and that relates to whether you're trading like this $50 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. Between 5 and 10 is perfect when you're scalping. Below that's fine. I mean, a win's a win, but we try and gain between 5 and 10%. That's our goal. As we're starting on $42, you know, anything, if we can get $2 $2 to $4, that's a good percentage increase. That's what we're looking for, and within an hour as well. That's the whole idea behind this. You can see gold is still ranging. At the moment it could hit our trend line and drop back to our neutral support. This is the key zone, obviously our neutral support. You can see there is 10 pips going down, 100 points, 10 pips down to that support zone. So we'll just see which way this is going to spike. We could have a spike up, then a spike down. That's why I'm anticipating push on up, which it's trying to do now, look, or push down. We're in the neutral zone. We're just going to really wait for this RSI to break green or break red. Usually I would jump in on the news like now, on the open, sorry, now, like 30 seconds, 1 minute before, but I'm just going to wait and see. See RSI pushing up to 51. We can open 2 positions. That's fine, even with a small account.
Search on the terminal.
And I've got to cover 7 cents kind of commission as well, 7 cents per trade. So let's see, we're in, and let's see what we can get. Let's see if we're going to take the loss and end the loss on this, or we're going to get a win. So we're looking at it pushing up to that neutral zone here. Look, 7 pips. Market's open. Let's see what we get. RSI. Remember, you've got to allow this to range around a little bit. Going up. We're either going to win a dollar or lose a dollar, I always say. We're open now. Market is actually open now. It's going to retest this zone here. New York open.
1% on the S&P. Last month down about 5%. The biggest monthly loss going back to spring 2020. It was even worse at some points. On the Nasdaq 100, positive about 0.25%. Going into the open, up about 40. Switch at the board and get to the bond market. What a move we've seen year to date so far.
Brilliant. There we go. And we're in there now. And we got $1.38. Yes, brilliant. That's a great start. There we go, just to show the result there. Got 2 trades away, 50 pence, small account, a challenge. Well, that was $1.38. So that was a nice win on the open there.
your German 2-year.
And you can see it spiked up, as I said. It would spike up. So just relate that, you know, that's a $1.38 on a $42 account. If that was 400, that would be $10. 4,000, that would be $400. That's how you've got to relate it. And usually I would hold longer. But yes, you can see we've got two blue zones, which are resistance zones. We've got a blue support zone, so we're really trading within a range, and there's no real break yet. Obviously, if gold decides to break this level and go on up, then we'll take a buy. If it breaks this level here, we'll take a sell. That was a kind of a riskier trade because of the, like I said, there was no kind of catalyst to move the market, other than the fact that previously there'd been some good news relating to the euro and the pound, which gold sometimes takes on board when opening in the New York session. So whether that was that, you can see it pushed up nicely, and we got that nailed. So well happy with that. That's a good start.
Still with us. Seema, I want to come to you. Why are the banks not working?
We get, like I say, if we get $2, $2.20, then that's 5%. So we're 2% up already. Now you can see gold's going to push back down. Look. See that zone? Look, this is where you get the range for the first 15. You get that volatility for the first 15 minutes, as I always say. Get a push down here. I might go in, might be tempted. Could push also back up. It's really volatile. Bit moving around.
Has been all about energy, not so much about financials.
Scott, same question to you.
Yeah, I think that we see, I largely agree with
watching price action, because we've got 10 minutes to the news now. Don't want to be stuck in a trade where the news is on.
I also don't think we're going to see as much.
Now you can see again, look at that candle. Neutral zone. Is it a buy, is it a sell? Nobody knows. We've got a red trend bar.
Losses have really been minimized by the strong amount of government support out there. I don't think that's coming back. And so I think losses are also part of it, especially if the economy does
1804.
slow down.
Matt, the big banks have a big presence in the credit market as well. What are you seeing, Matt?
Let's see.
Tons of issuance out of
more buys.
They've really flooded the market with just massive issuance. Just start the year, and that's really weighed heavily on their spreads. So
we did, yes. We got another 22, so we're up to $1.67 now. That was a quick in and out. Again, I'm not messing around. We've got major resistance zones here. We've got a flat KG line, as you can see.
We feel fundamentally fine, but again, the technicals are very poor in the banking space as well.
Every time price hits this, it's going to bounce off. So you just want to get in and out really quick.
Just for the financials, for the big names we've
been post that into the group.
Over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I wish Invesco was bragging about how much they were paying everybody this quarter, but it's really only the banks that are coming out and saying that, and that's a real thing. I really think that wage pressure is something that's going to be putting a lot of pressure on these banks over the next quarter. I mean, they're basically telling you they're in a talent war right now, and that generally doesn't end well from an expense standpoint. So yeah, I mean that's something we're watching, and they have to have sales and trading really come through for them this year, and M&A is probably going to pick up, so that'll help as well. But they're gonna have they've got a higher bar to hit this year, that's for sure.
And Matt, is there something?
And now we're going to wait for the news. And I say, just check my economic calendar, and we've got 10 minutes to the market manufacturing PMI. As you can see here, higher than expected figure is positive for the dollar. A lower than expected figure should be negative. So we go reverse with gold, of course.
11%, 4 minutes into the session. A big day coming up for big earnings with big tech on deck. Alphabet kicking it off after the closing bell after falling nearly 10% from record highs. With us, and it's been a while. Can we bring in Taylor? Can we get some drums, some applause?
Crypto, nice to see it all back being green again. Hopefully we'll get a push up on the good old DOGE at 14.
Google and Alphabet, of course, have been sort of a bellwether for the overall tech sector as well, right? At one point, almost entering that bear market.
We've got 9 minutes to the first news event.
Big rally, sort of now finally out of bear market and maybe a little bit out of correction territory.
US 30. There was a spike on the US 30 for the open. If you're trading that, perfect. And I would have gauged a sell. If we're buying gold, obviously US 30, we expect it to go the opposite way. And it did. And the only reason, obviously, I can't take this trade is because I don't have a big enough account. You need above $200-300, basically for $500 to $1,000 to trade the Dow. A nice sell on the open.
It does give it some exposure to some of those large end markets, but it's really all about that advertising business and the pricing. And and the core business that really is Google. Finally, if you change up the board though, John, a lot of people have been talking about, is this as good as it gets, sort of peak earnings? You've talked about the big rebound in the tech sector in terms of the price. What about the fourth quarter earnings growth? And that's where there are some questions when you trickle through to the bottom line. Tech, as you can see, their communications at the bottom of the screen. It is the second to last sector in terms of the fourth quarter EPS estimates. So, John, that's really where the focus is going to be this afternoon.
Taylor Riggs, don't be a stranger. It's good to hear from you. Look out for Taylor, Caroline, and Romain to lead you through the closing bout a little bit later on Bloomberg TV. UPS then getting your attention, up by almost 13% now. Earnings very much in focus. To build on what Taylor just said, let's bring in Abby for more. Hey, Abby.
Hey, John. Well, it's pretty interesting because, of course, the last earnings report, inflation, the buzzword. This time, though, it's supply chain. Not surprisingly, UPS doing well both around inflation, margins, and supply chains. Those are the top mentioned. Supply chain, 1100.
So there we are. Let's see.
1,000 inflation.
167 up. Four trades, four winners so far.
Just 176 on this so far during this earnings season. Now, relative to supply chain and the concern
US 30, like I say, we can't touch that because of our account size. So back to gold. Here we go. Look, gold looking to break. Now this is our major level here. Remember, this is our daily pivot, our daily support level. Gold is going to break this, then we're going down below, back down to retest that 18.
Most worrying type of inflation, though, John, could have to do with.
So we got the buy on the open. Now we've had a red. This good for a sell. Down this level here. Whether we jump in before this news and do a scalp or whether we wait.
Ice cream is my weakness.
Me too.
You know, I just thought I'd throw that
Because it
out
could
there.
bounce off that level easy. It's got to break our average line. It's got to break this zone here before. Look here, did the same thing. Went red here. Sold for a couple of pips and bounced back again. And then you would have been wiped out. Yeah. And you can see it's rejected off it. Always got to wait.
When you say value over growth, value's
You know
a
what
big
you say?
bucket. Morgan Stanley and Mike Wilson saying stay defensive, avoid the
Got 6 minutes to the news as well, remember. So
message from you.
if it's 54, then we're looking for buys. If it's 56, we're looking for
It's
sales.
going to be pricing pressures, the wage pressures. And it really means that you need companies with that pricing power. And of course, as you are seeing a softer growth environment, then balance sheets become really important. So for us, it's about quality, right? Maybe that's in value, maybe it's in growth. You need to have full diversification and really know your companies and know where you're investing. Focus on big balance sheet, strong cash flow, and positive earnings delivery. That is going to be key.
Scott Kuby, same question to you, sir.
I think what we see is the biggest opportunity in the markets that isn't being paid as much attention to is the potential for greater reopening, greater filling, and a greater movement back to services. I think that would be generally strong for the overall market, but more leaning towards the value, less towards the technology names. That's a key theme we're looking at this year.
Matt, final word.
Yeah, I'm getting more interested in being bullish, but I'm not quite there yet. I think we still have a tough quarter. We need more clarity out of the Fed. And once we get that, then we'll be fine. But we got to get that clarity from the Fed sooner rather than later.
I'm looking for something on Tom Brady here as well, so I'm distracted. Matt, I don't know if you want to play with me on this one. Adam Schefter over at ESPN, the senior NFL insider, saying Tom Brady officially announced his retirement. I don't see that anywhere else. And I got caught out with this, Matt, over the weekend, as well as so many other people too. Have you got a take on this, Matt?
So I was at the 28-3 Falcons disaster in Houston. I saw Tom Brady come back. I saw him win another Super Bowl in Atlanta. He's definitely the GOAT. I would like to see him come back one more year, but I think he's probably done.
I think it is official. Tom Brady announcing his retirement from football. Matt, are you happy about that? For me, that's the reason I watch the NFL. I watch Brady and I watch the playoffs. And I was surprised that when I moved over here, really shocked, in fact, that America as a country wasn't a big fan, unless you were a Pats fan at the time. Matt, are you happy about this? Is this better for you?
No, it's not better for me. You want the great players out there. Tom Brady's been fun to watch. I was in college when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, so my kids are still amazed that he's older than me. But yeah, he's. It's amazing. And you want the best out there. But we've got some good young quarterbacks. Mahomes is great. Allen, Burrow. It's great. The great list goes on and on.
Matt Brill, Scott Kuby, Seema Shah, thank you to all three of you. I appreciate it. That headline just crossing, although we have done this twice in the last week. Tom Brady announcing his retirement from football. Coming up, the Fed's hawkish tone sending yields higher.
I would be supportive of 25 basis point increase in March. Could we do 50? Yeah. Should we? Well, I'm a little less convinced of that right now.
That conversation still ahead from New York. This is Bloomberg.
We're getting ready. 3 minutes to go. We're just going to hang fire, watch gold. You can see again I was exactly right. If you're taking a sell on gold there, look, it just whipped down, whipped back up again. I mean, you could have got... There was still 10 points in it, so there was still, you know, still money in that. It's very risky. Now we've got to break this. Beautiful. See if we can get in on this. See if it's going to push down anymore. Before the news.
Access the financial world on demand.
Well, we did just.
Hear from leading
Got 15 on that, so we're up to 186. I just nipped in really quick on that sell. Wasn't hanging around. Just 25. Again, we're up to $1.86. So, like I said, I want to get to $2. $2 is 5%.
Visit Bloomberg.com webinars.
$4 is our ideal goal. A nice push down. So this is the break you want. This is when you want to get in. And again, the reason I'm not is because of the news, because obviously the news could send it spiraling the opposite way in 2 minutes time. This is what most people will never understand or learn. Push down, look. It's going to hit our breakout zone.
What we don't know is still that what are the effects of mix and
Just going
match
to start this.
between vaccines, and what are the capabilities of antibodies produced
Manufacturing
from
PMI coming up.
in neutralizing Omicron. Because as we know, many parts of the world use
Remember, if the news is better than expected, we're going to get continuation of a sell. If the news is worse than expected, we can see this pulling back up again. So we'll just leave this set on our neutral resistance zone.
the data changes. So it will be really good to look at large-scale data of the ability of antibodies from vaccines to neutralize this variant. Great news here today that the virus Omicron variant still uses ACE2 receptor as its main entry. It means that all of the vaccines
1 minute to go.
designed with spike in mind still works. Imagine if it uses a different receptor other than ACE2. None of the vaccines would work today. So I think that is the best news that we got from all these studies which came recently, the past couple of days.
Get a couple of positions away on this.
You also have very favorable comments about the book from Henry Kissinger and Bill Gates. Who's smarter?
Each would say the other guy, and I think I would say each in their own ways.
Boy, you should go into politics or diplomacy. Okay.
This is an inflation story in my mind. And so what
And it's better than expected. So let's see if we can get some sells away.
like the supply chain issues are starting to
7.3, and as you can see there, my FX book is really bad because it's giving you the wrong
25 basis point increases this year is
wrong
appropriate.
way.
But there's a lot of risk here.
How are you wrong on that?
From the Philadelphia
Crazy.
Fed President Patrick Harker there speaking with Bloomberg's Mike McKee and myself a little bit earlier this morning. Mike joins us now for more. Mike, walk us through what we learned from President Harker going into this decision next month.
Well, it's important to recognize, John, that Pat Harker is a voting member of the Open Market Committee, at least for the time being, as a alternate for the vacant Boston Fed job. So what he says matters, and he did say 4 rate increases this year. That's one more than he had anticipated earlier in January. He also told you that maybe 50 basis points is a little bit too far for the first meeting, but it's all going to depend on the data. And that's the problem for the Fed, as Harker said. They don't know exactly what's going to happen, but they do know they need to do something.
Looking for it to
Here's
break.
what he had to say.
Factoring PMI, there we go, that's the first one.
Probably going to have a bad jobs report in the end of this week. I mean, just because of Omicron. I mean, it's just simply because of Omicron. That said, I mean, and the media will say, and I'm not criticizing the media here, but it'll say the economy only created X number of jobs. No, the economy has created millions of jobs. We just can't fill
Good morning.
supply constraint.
Morning.
And that's
How you doing? All right.
How do they deal with the
Yeah,
supply
doing all right.
when they work on the demand side? He
Just
did say
taking the
that they do anticipate lower
trade on
balance
that.
sheet, starting maybe
Better
later
than
this year or early
expected.
2023.
First PMI.
Number in mind, and isn't sure whether they
Looks like gold is trying to break
or just let them run
back
out.
above 1800.
Well, I'm going the opposite way, so I hope not. Because the news is the news was good, so it should sell.
Manufacturing PMI slips to 55.5 from 57.7. So you can see.
Yeah, but I don't think you've got enough floor space or momentum to break it. You may.
Going back, gonna put some more sales in.
Looking for the industry commentary on that as well, and the ISM a little bit later. Mike, I know you'll be breaking that
I
down.
think it's probably going to break that and come down to 17.9. It depends on the next news event. We've got the news again in 12 minutes.
Mark Kiesel has this to say. Here's the quote: "We have reduced credit risk and raised cash
Watch and see.
in our
There's the
credit portfolios
manufacturing.
over the past 3 to 4 months in anticipation the Fed would move faster and tighten financial conditions."
Pushing, it's trying to push, it's trying to push.
We get to join with PIMCO's Mark Kiesel and talk about what's happening in credit and with his Federal Reserve. Mark, let's start there. Have you seen a sufficient tightening of financial conditions that you anticipate?
Hopefully the next PMI will be exactly the same, you see, as well. What I want.
Hi, Jonathan. Good morning. Now, there's probably more to come. I think what's interesting about this point in
All over the
history
place.
is this is the first time the Fed is at zero. About
2 losers and 2 winners.
All
it's all about break even at the moment. It's waiting.
This year versus 2.
End it in a profit.
You've got inflation, which even the Fed would admit.
You still on the small account?
Yeah. I'm just this is risky. This is the small account.
And labor market conditions are basically
Yeah.
consistent with full employment.
And hold it, try and get out before the next trade, before the next news. So rangy.
Which would be around 2.5.
Pushing.
Right now we're at 0. So they're
See the
a long way to
indecision.
go. They're doing the right thing. I think they're adjusting. Inflation
I'm already
has been more
$1.67 up for the day. $8.87, so that's good.
But yes, they're going to have to raise rates, and we think they're
About halfway to bottle.
this year.
Yeah.
Halfway to a bottle of red.
If I can get this, get this nailed.
You know, they're going to start with rates, and Powell indicated that that's their primary tool.
The next news is we've got the joint one, the JOLTS and the manufacturing, which again I think will be, they could be worse than expected. So it could be a buy. I don't really know on that. It's who knows? No one knows. 10 minutes. Whether I can just get out of this trade in a profit. I'm about break even at the moment.
So for those factors, I think you want to still be defensive.
We got NFP coming up on Friday, don't we?
Yeah. So we're going to be live.
You've instantly got a second decision to make.
Better switch back over to the big account. That way you can go Lambos.
Yeah. Or just risk the whole lot.
So really, you know, our logic for taking risk down 3-4 months ago was really a function of spreads being very tight, and also the fact that we were seeing inflation persist, and also these supply constraints linger. So we thought the Fed would have to adjust policy. The good news is that now you've got the market priced for 5 rate hikes. Spreads have widened, equities have come under pressure. So there are some selective opportunities out there right now, but overall we're running higher cash than normal.
Look.
Because we are anticipating
Pushing up, it's trying to reject. It's going to reject off that neutral resistance as well.
Normalizing policy.
Got margin to put 2 more sells. Oh no, it's back in profit again. It's all over the place, I tell you. Going to reject off that. I could have got some more sells in then.
Pretty consistently, our funds are running right
See if we can get out of this.
cash.
You have to hope IC markets will
Because we want to be in a position of
execute it well in time.
volatility. The Fed will even admit this. It's
Going to reject off that. Looks like it is.
Very uncertain. A lot of this slack could actually come back.
And what I'll do is I'll just hold it. I'm going to hold it for the next lot of news, because if this is better than expected, above 57 and above 103 point, then we're going to be selling again. I might as well hold it if I'm just losing $1 or so. I'm down about $1. Now I'm back in profit. Oh my God, it's going all over the place. Crazy.
I've spent some time with you guys on the West Coast before, and I remember one thing that you said to me, and it was that we want to be
Zone right there is going to be super volatile.
Ooh, I did it, bro. I did it. I got, look at that. I got out. Yes, look at that. 2 small losses, but I got 69 and 77, so I'm up $3.39. We've nearly done it. 10%. Come on. Yeah.
There you go.
See, that's what you got to do. See, I didn't panic that this was $1 in drawdown. All I did was at the top of that, when it was a loss of $1, I put these 2 sells in. So this is how you counteract. It's not revenge trading. This is how you properly scalp and compensate your losses. So yeah, I took them. I could have held. These could have probably gone in profit. They did flash in profit for a second, but obviously I'm just looking at the bigger picture. And you know, when I'm taking over another $1, I'm going to take the profit, even if it's red. So it's you've got to do it with a small account. You can't with a bigger account. You can just sit there and go, yeah, I'll wait till it's all nice and green, and I do it all the time, you know. But when you're with a small account, you've got to, you know, this has given me big profit. That was the biggest profit trade out of all these. It's got the red in, so 339. That's great. Let's see what we can do. A bit more now coming up on the next. And why did I get out? Because I knew I'd only got this space to play in. You know, I sold here at the neutral resistance, and I got out as it spiked into our breakout. So until it breaks this zone now, you know, and RSI comes down, it's a no trade zone really. If you've got a bigger account, you can take that risk. A smaller account, you can't. Excuse me. But I'm nearly there. Come on, $5 to get me a nice bottle. I gotta stop drawing it out. I keep advertising. I keep putting on YouTube. It's $50, and it was $50 until I draw a little bit out for a bottle.
So apartment REITs is a big opportunity right now.
One question I just got from a Bloomberg subscriber, and I'd like to throw it over to you, Mark, and you can answer. How does one get real estate exposure in a corporate bond fund? How do you go about doing that, Mark?
So we've been doing that over the last several decades by owning non-agency mortgages, which is really a pure play on housing prices. We do that through owning home builders. We do that through owning timber assets, apartment REITs. Building materials companies. So these are all.
That's the last news event for the day. Is the JOLTS. The last one that we typically trade.
Yeah, that's it. ISM manufacturing, which has got more weight than the manufacturing. See there.
And the supply constraints continue.
What you all about it?
Should have held. Now gold's down at 1801.
I know. Yeah. But it's going to reject. It's going to push back up off that, I bet.
Yeah.
It's because of the news. I mean, if there was no news, I could probably hold, but it's just... It's the whole thing about the grid system. If you turn this off on the points of interest, you can turn this line off, remember, and just have these ones, then you would have held, but also it's risk. Again, if I got a bigger account, I'm happy to do it, but yeah, I'd have probably got another $1, but hey, you know, no FOMO. That's where you got to be. Win's a win. And we've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're taking 10 trades, 2 losses. I'm happy, and we're nearly 10% up, and we've still got 5 minutes to go. Let's hope the JOLTS and the PMI both go the same way. If they're a mixed, it's going to be a risk, and I'll just have to watch the actual candle moving to get in and get out, like I did on the open. On the open, I didn't enter a trade before the open. I opened as I saw it spike up and just got in and got out. Risky, but practice on that. Because there was no news beforehand, really. New York open, as you can see.
That move right around midnight Eastern Standard Time was powerful. 1797 straight shot all the way to almost 1804.
Yeah. Gold was good in the Asian session. Again, probably because it's Chinese New Year as well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Why? That's why I need. That's
but
why
Asian.
So I say that's only why I traded the Aussie last night, because everything else is shut.
Yeah. Asian sessions hit and miss.
Early enough, all these precious materials you were just mentioning, And we were on the lucky side that our prognosis was spot on in a way.
Yeah, the Aussie one was good
What kind of material
because of that inflation rate. That's what I traded.
Mark, is that worth ignoring?
No, it's not. Obviously, the number could be 0 because of the Omicron variant.
Yeah.
But what I'm watching most closely is the labor force participation rate. Right now, it's at 61.9.
Gold can't decide what it wants to do. You got wicks all over the place.
No immigration. You've had a lot of early retirements. You've had lack of childcare.
He's saying NFP could be 0.
Those things are going to change over
Yeah,
time.
right.
So we want to see that labor force participation rate move up. If it does, that.
Do you believe that? I've got some swampland in Arizona.
If it does not, that means that the labor market's going to remain tighter for longer.
Going to be a good one because they just don't know. This is going to be, you know, how Omicron's affected the jobs in America. So it will be, it's like, you know, obviously in the previous month.
It's January's report.
Yes, it could be low, could be really low again. I mean, it was low.
Amazon on Thursday, plus we get more PMIs and durable goods orders.
It's expected to be 150, so it could be low, could be lower than that. Last month it was 211, 150. You know, it could be 80, it could be 50. You know, and obviously if it is, you know what we're going to be doing? Buying gold with big Lambos. That's the unemployment rate comes out same time. 153. The private and the public are the same. So yeah, this could be 0. Who knows? We've got some German news to trade in the morning as well, a bit of euro, so that's good. Won't be doing a live stream tomorrow, but we'll be back ready for that on Friday. We'll do a live stream tomorrow, probably Thursday night actually. We'll probably do Thursday night. We'll see how all this affects the US market later on, like 90 minutes before the close. We'll do a late night stream, and then we'll be live for NFP on Friday. And we should be able to trade some of this oil news as well on Wednesday, which should be really good. ADB employment, which is the precursor to NFP as well. Again, was A07, went down to 207. So this is, if this is below 100, then it could well mean NFP could be 0.
This chip shortage is
There we go, right.
Do you remember?
1 minute to go.
If you remember, ADP last month gave us a real clear indication of where, even though they manipulated the hell out of it, it gave us a real clear indication of what to expect on NFP.
Yes.
Now, it's not always the case, but it's always something to look for.
That data out yesterday, and what it showed is that there's a real shortage. Demand is.
Let's hope that cities both go the same way. Gold is, like you say, sat on that line. If it's good news, we're going to sell. If it's bad news, we're going to buy. The level's set.
What has to happen is we need to make more chips.
30 seconds. We'll put a line in here. See if it'll go down to there.
Manufacturing of chips, which is what we need to do.
Ideally, leading up, we want to see gold hold that 1800 level as a support, because that's going to give us a real clear indication whenever we start seeing the moves on Friday of which way we're going to go.
Yeah.
We crashed 1800 with NFP momentum. You know, we open up.
Look at my effects book. It'll be wrong down the corner here. Look, it tells you the wrong news. Look, it says worse than expected, but it's not. It's better than expected. See? Look at that. That's crazy. They're giving you the wrong result. That saying worse than expected in the bottom corner, but it's green. It's actually better than expected.
By like 1%.
Yeah, that should give you the colour wrong as well.
It's not doing it on the mobile app.
Done it. Yay, done. Right, I got 34 and 7. So I wonder if we can go in again on the sell. Let's have a look. I've got 2 more on the sell.
Has probably gone down in history as one of the biggest marketing disasters in history.
That was a good one, that was.
Of a human error that
Steam down, push down.
print more winning caps than they planned. The resulting chaos caused riots.
That spike, beautiful. What you expect from gold. Expecting now to push on down.
Took over a year.
Better than expected news.
To Manila in the Philippines to meet unlucky winners and to find out exactly what happened back then in the 1990s.
JOLTS job openings were up 10.925 billion from 10.562.
Done it. There we go. Hey, all done. My trades. I did 4 trades. I got 1 break even, a 0. I got a 14, a 74, and a 76, 34, and 7. 6 trades I did on that. And I'll just post that into the group. That was it, and they were all, as you can see, all sells because the news was better than expected. We ended up with $6, so more than 10%. That's what's that? 15%.
15.
They love all things America, and that extends to their love for soft drinks, Pepsi Cola.
They're well happy. Nice wins on the sell. News was better. That's weird though. The news how they printed it wrong.
Yeah.
Very strange. If you watch that bottom corner, you'd be well caught out. Look at that. Is it going to push down? Beautiful. Broke our level there.
Somebody's putting money in their pocket.
Roll it out internationally, particularly in Asia.
Nice spike down.
They thought it could finally help them beat their biggest competitor.
As you can see, that's why I'm just watching this bit here. This bit is bang on. You see, it was all green. There are more sales.
$1 million pesos or $68,000 doesn't sound like a lot now, but in 1992, that was a phenomenal amount of money.
Oh, well happy with that.
In the Philippines at the time, the average monthly income
200,000 over the forecast on JOLTS.
$1 million pesos was
Yeah.
beyond anyone's wildest imaginations.
Yeah, it was 63, 600,000 more job openings, and it was better than expected, but just 57.6. But like I say, even if it was bang on, it's still as expected. It is still good for the US 30 and bad for. Look at that. That's the thing with the US 30. Look at that. US 30 dropped on that result. Crazy, isn't it? The manipulation on that. So what you got to do now, obviously you'd have ended your trade here on that candle, but wait for the pullback, wait for the RSI to come back. This will be a buy. I think it surprised the markets.
Maids were being jailed for stealing their employers' winning bottle caps. There was even some murders over
That's why gold is safer sometimes to trade on news results. And that's pure manipulation on the Dow. Gold's pushing perfectly up.
in Chile, and a garbled fax had caused some kind of problem with the winning number.
I'm happy with that. $5.95.
Causing riots. There were signs that
Good wins for the day.
Yeah, that's
So in 1992, Pepsi decided to
all the trades for today.
campaign in the Philippines, and they announced
We've added another, like I say, another $6 to our account. We started with 42, so yeah, about 15%.
The problem was 349 had already been allocated as a non-winning number in earlier campaigns. So there were literally hundreds of thousands of bottle caps with 349 just floating around.
Like I say, you can relate what I do to a bigger amount in the account. You just trade it pretty much the same way. You know, I'll go in now. It's a bit risky because I want to. If RSI is going to dip into 25, then I'd be in for another sell. I'll just put that as the JOLTS news. Look, so you've got the manufacturing PMI and the JOLTS. Both were good results, and that means we sell off on gold, and went perfect. Pushing
It's
down.
still trying to push back off 1800. There's a lot of support there.
We'll hit 17.97. The RSI is going to dip. Told you if it goes 25, I might be in again. It hangs here. This is dead man zone where you don't want to be trading. But here, look, you can see here, we'd have got in quick on a sell, blue zone and out, crashed in and out. Might not, it's going to break this minor support. There we go, it's broke it. Crazy, it's going for it, isn't it? It really is.
Yep.
Got it. In, out, done. There you go, I got another 21 and 19. Yay. Go to show you that so you can see. That was how quick it was. Literally, that was what, 10 seconds. I was in, and so now we're up to $6.49. Yay. We did it, and that's how you got to do it. That's how you flash in. As soon as you see that RSI go red, now it's backed out of it, look, but there was enough to give me that win. It's the added momentum. It could pull back in again, in which case you could go back in again, but for me, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 18 trades, and 2 losses, 1 neutral, so that's pretty good.
It was clear to me that they were still very upset by the
18 trades.
family had been ripped apart by this competition.
You got that one just in time, back up to 1802.
Yeah. That's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
If that had been a bigger account, it could have been $30, $40. But as soon as you see that blue zone, that's where you get out. This is it. As soon as you see the balloon appear, blue, you know that's holding up as a support, and then you just wait. And obviously I'd just wait for RSI again to see if it comes back down before going in again. But you know, our targets were hit there. But literally, as I tell everybody, you know, they're just bonus trades, and you really just got to flash in, take some green. You haven't got time to put a stop loss in and all that, because by the time you do all that, it's already like you just seen reversed on you. Whereas I nipped in, grabbed that, got out. Now it could push back down again. It could also push up. This is where, like I say, it's no man's land. You just don't know what's going to happen. You are gambling, flashing between green and overall you can see we're neutral, 21%. But it's a neutral, no power either way. Bearish and falling. They've done 66% volume, so there's more to come yet. Obviously, you don't want to be taking a buy really until it's broke our neutral resistance 1803. Just instead, it's fighting around its typical 1800 zone. If you zoom out, see, basically retested where it was back in the middle of Asian session. The good thing about the Axe trading system. Therefore, that's what these lines are. They're not random lines. They're based on support and resistance in Fibonacci. So you can see E-zone here and here, where it ranged for like a day or so, or making that break in Asian and London. Now
Closed at 1803.
Now wants to push back up. You can see the pattern we're going to fall. If this was the W, and this is now the M, it's going to push, wants to push back up to 1806. Right between 1804 and 1806, where it was ranging before either pulling back up again or dropping. We did well, You know, if you follow the system and you're not greedy and you get in and out, you can do it even in a tight move like this. Like I said, I wouldn't be buying now, even if it was on a big account. We really want to wait for ideally some green. I mean, it hasn't been green for quite a while. There's a little flash of green here, a little flash of green there, a little spike up hour before New York, but again, it not a real major break, and each time you had some divergence. Bearish, hidden, bearish, telling you the pressure is still building, sell, and obviously it did. We got in on all this just by trading the divergence. Then you get bullish one fighting back. Tried to, it did actually work. You could have put a buy in, it did actually pump up there for 10 pips, but then back down again. So interesting to see if we actually do get a green on the RSI. This is it now, it's testing that 1803.
Pepsi's headquarters to try and resolve the problem, but he said he wanted to take it all the way to the highest courts in America. When those cases were heard in America, those courts decided that this was a problem that should be heard in the Philippines, not in America. Back in the Philippines, Del Fierro continued his case in the Filipino courts. At one stage, there were arrest warrants handed out for 9 Pepsi-Cola executives, which he saw as a big victory. We don't know if those arrest warrants were ever upheld, but it made newspaper headlines across the country. Pepsi did not take kindly to Del Fiero's campaign. They tried everything to shut him down. They sued him for libel.
My father had to attend 3 times a month for a branch 135 and another hearing for the branch 138, also 3 times a month. Also, there was a time my father's was hospitalized.
True scalping, bro. True scalping.
Still, he had to attend the 2 branch hearing.
Yes, sir.
For not attending, the judge will issue warrant of arrest. My father.
And you see that support levels form. Now it's pushed back down again. You see, told you, rejected off that. So again, if you're on a bigger account, you could have got in on a sell from that. You've got a flat part of the KG here, a breakout. So again, every time it bounces off this resistance, it's a good time to get in for a quick scalp. Have to seriously break this to be a buy. And now it's pushed back down again. It's going to hit 17.99. Yeah, look at that. And you can see it on the RSI. Rejected off our average line. Beats it as a resistance. Now pushing back down again. You know, again, you need to take profit. Even a sell now, you want to be taking profit round about now. That's it. As you've got the blue zone. That's pumping back up again. You from there to there, look at that. 17.
We know that they paid up to $10 million in those goodwill payments, but the financial effect could be much greater. After the disaster, we know that Pepsi sales dipped. They were overtaken by Coca-Cola again. Pepsi's number fever disaster.
That's it for news. We'll be back later on in the group to trade the API, which is our slow news. You know, we kind of get into, we're in that dead zone between the end of New York and the open of Australia Asian session. So we'll take this trade and definitely take it if it's a buy better than expected, because obviously oil is on the push up at the moment with all the threat of the Ukraine-Russian war pushing prices higher. So this will be a good one. If it's a sell, it's going to be a quick sell, 5 to 10 pips. If it's a buy, we might hold longer, but again, that will hit profit maybe in the Australian session. And then you've got the RBA, Real Bank of Australia, speaking just at the start of the Asian session as well. So again, if people are around who want to trade that, be careful around that time. And then we'll be back tomorrow for London Open, and then like I say, we'll do some trading. Well, maybe do a stream tomorrow night, if not Thursday night, and then we'll do a live stream on Friday for the NFP as well. That's it, just a shorter stream today with just a few news events. Like I say, we took some wins early on with the DAX, and we've just successfully traded the New York Open, the manufacturing PMI, the ISM PMI, and the JOLTS job openings, all winners. 18 trades, 2 losses, all of our small account, reaping a 15% return on investment. And you can translate that, like I say, to any bigger account just by following the system, having access to our Axe trading system, and following and learning from me and Justin and Neil and the team.
Yes, sir.
It's a whole idea.
Unbeknownst to investigators, just after the bomb went off and the players of the team were shell-shocked, the person who had masterminded the attack was actually sitting in the hotel eating steak and sweet. My name is Thomas Rogers.
And we'll stick with the small account challenge on the next few streams and see how we get on. Just to prove you can do it.
Keep plugging away.
Well, that's it. Little by little, that's how you got to do it. And then you'll do the same, you'll stick hopefully doing the same thing when you've got a bigger account. You know what I mean? And you don't get tempted into just throwing thousands into trading before you're ready. If you can win with a small account, we said this all along, you can win with a big account. You know, it's, you know, no diff. It's harder, as I know, it's harder, especially for me, you know, the way I trade, to sit on my hands and have to take, not every trade, there's 3 or 4 trades I would have taken extra here if it had been on my bigger account, but you just can't do it with a small account. You need to protect that. And I'm up, you know, when you're hitting 15%, as I am, you know, over 15% for the day return, you're silly to try and risk it and blow it. You know, like I say, 5 to 10% is perfect. Most traders only look for 1 to 2%. So 5 to 10 and above that, that's when you've got to close your laptop, move away and go, okay, I'm done for the day, I'll come back tomorrow. And we've only been trading, we've been trading an hour, that's it. So 15%, that was a day's wage for a lot of people in an hour's trading, could be, with the right account size. So that's what these streams were all about. But thanks to Justin again for joining me. Early doors.
Yes, I was late.
It's still early for you, isn't it?
It's 9 a.m. here. I'm back in Texas.
Beautiful. Oh, it's way hotter in Texas. Actually, it's a nice day today. It's actually quite nice today. Usually February is traditionally the worst month of the year weather-wise. There's some big storms, so it's good to be indoors trading actually rather than outside. That's one good thing. So,
That's a fact. It's 54 degrees over here. We're expecting another big storm to pass through.
Wow.
They just got dumped on. They just got 2 feet dumped on the northeast, and they got another one coming right behind it.
Wow. Stay safe, bro.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna stay down here on the south side.
Yeah, hide out of the way.
They can keep all that snow.
Brilliant. Right, we're all cool. We're all clear. That's it. Nice one. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for trading gold. And we'll see you on the next live stream. And thanks to Justin for joining me. And trade safe. And like I say, go to the website www.mohawkforex.com if you want to join our team. And I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.
Everybody trade safe. Ciao.